Good day, here are today's top stories from the Pna Headlines. The Philippines has completed several military drills under this year's ALON or Amphibious Land Operation exercises with Australia and other nations committed to regional defense and stability. Philippine and Australian Army troops carried out on Wednesday a joint live-fire exercise at the Combat Readiness Training Area in Fort Magsaysay, Nueva Ecija. In a statement, Philippine Army spokesperson Colonel Louis de Maala said the Philippines used its self-propelled Atmos 155mm howitzers, while the Australian Army deployed M777A2 155mm mortars and a light armored vehicle. The Philippine Air Force and the Royal Australian Air Force provided close air support to the ground troops, used fixed and rotary winged assets. Army Commander Lieutenant General Antonio Navarrete, Air Force Chief Lieutenant General Arthur Cortura, 7th Infantry Division Head Major General Joseph Norwin Pasamonte, and their Australian counterparts witnessed the said exercise. Navarrete lauded the participating troops for their firm commitment to strengthen their interoperability with the joint force. He also vowed to bolster the capabilities of ground forces through constant training and engagements with partners aligned with the goals of regional cooperation and stability. Meanwhile, naval units from the Philippines, Australia, and Canada staged their own multilateral maritime exercise east of Bajo de Masinloc in the West Philippine Sea. The Philippine Navy's guided missile frigate BRP Jose Rizal, Australian guided missile destroyer HMAS Brisbane, and Canadian guided missile frigate HMCS Ville de Quebec sailed from El Nido, Palawan to participate in the drill. The three Navy forces practiced joint air defense tactics and conducted a photo exercise showcasing precision formation, sailing, and naval coordination. More than 3,600 troops from the Philippines, Australia, and the United States and Canada are taking part in Exercise ALON 2025 that is being held from August 15 to 29. The Philippines seeks to implement boosted monitoring and reporting measures to track region-wide efforts against trafficking in persons in the ASEAN region. The Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG, expressed the country's commitment to fight trafficking using the MERL, or Monitoring, Evaluation, Reporting, and Learning Framework. As lead agency of the ASEAN SOMTC, or Senior Officials Meeting on Transnational Crime Philippines, the DILG highlighted the importance of the MERL framework in measuring the activities, results, and impact of anti-trafficking initiatives. This direction aligns with the ASEAN Convention Against Trafficking in Persons, especially women and children, and is supported by the ASEAN-Australia Counter-Trafficking Program. MTC Philippines recently organized the first ASEAN workshop on monitoring and reporting of the MERL framework. Stakeholders studied the coordinated implementation of the ASEAN Multi-Sectoral Work Plan Against Trafficking in Persons 2023 to 2028. DILG Assistant Secretary Lilian De Leon said they have collectively laid the groundwork by establishing the needed mechanisms to strengthen monitoring and reporting on trafficking. De Leon urged ASEAN partners to deepen cooperation towards lasting impact and benefit for our entire region. The Philippines will host the second MERL workshop in Manila on February 2026. In other news, the Philippine National Police, or PNP, is deploying about 16,000 police officers to secure the first parliamentary elections in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao on October 13. Newly installed acting PNP Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartate said the additional forces will augment the strength of the PNP and other law enforcement units in the Bangsamoro region. Nartate said the PNP is exerting all its efforts to prevent poll-related violence. The Police Regional Office BARMM is closely monitoring groups that might threaten peace and security. 94 towns and municipalities have been placed under the red category or areas of grave concern. Earlier, the Commission on Elections placed Buluan in Maguindanao del Sur and Datu Odinsinswat in Maguindanao del Norte under control due to incidents of violence. The COMELEC imposed a gun ban from August 14 to October 28, the election period for the parliamentary polls under Resolution number 11149. The poll body also limited the use of security units and armed forces and prohibited the suspension of elective officers and the transfer or detail of civil service personnel. The resolution covers the provinces of Maguindanao del Sur, Maguindanao del Norte, Lanao del Sur, Basilan and Tawi-Tawi, and the special geographic area in North Cotabato, which consists of 8 new municipalities of Pahamudin, Cadayangan, Nabalawag, Old Kaabacan, Kapalawan, Maldegao, Tugunan, and Ligawasan. The Department of Agriculture, or DA, underscored the need for reforms in the Rice Tarification Law, or RTL, to better protect Filipino farmers and consumers. This follows the DA's participation in a Senate Committee on Agriculture hearing where it presented the proposed amendments to the RTL. In a statement, Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr. said the reforms are essential to shielding the country's rice industry, increasing farmers' incomes, and helping them recover from the impact of unregulated rice imports. Key proposals include restoring National Food Authority's power through calibrated state market interventions along with its rebuilding and modernization. Another recommendation is the integration of the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund with the National Rice Program to effect a balance between consumer welfare and farmer protection, sustain domestic production, and provide incentives across the rice value chain. Furthermore, the DA pushed for a strengthened extension support system to streamline registration and services for Filipino workers. Tiu Laurel also confirmed that the agency is set to undergo reorganization, with extension workers to be deployed down to the municipal level after President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s approval. In our business news, the Department of Energy, or DOE, said that consultations on how to put up around 7,300 electric vehicle or EV charging stations nationwide until 2028 will start this year. In an interview on the pre-event press conference for the 13th Philippine Electric Vehicle Summit, DOE Energy Utilization Management Bureau Director for Patrick Aquino explained that the Electric Vehicle Industry Development Act does not mandate the government to offer subsidy programs for private sector to put up charging stations. Thus, Aquino said that they plan to work with their stakeholders to make the implementation efficient. To date, there are nearly 1,100 charging stations that are mostly located in urban areas. He said that making the charging stations commercial in nature will entice the private sector to build facilities in areas where it has high demand, such as gasoline stations and establishments along expressways and in urban areas. Priority areas are the National Capital Region, Calabarzon, Central Luzon, Central Visayas, and Negros Island region, where registered a notable rise in EV sales. Meanwhile, Electric Vehicle Association of the Philippines President Edmund Araga is optimistic about the growth in electric vehicle registrations this year, projecting the number to reach around 35,000. Citing data from the Land Transportation Office, Araga said the total registered EVs from January to July this year already hit over 29,000, an increase from the 24,000 recorded for the entire 2024. Recorded new registrations registrations are above 28,000, while those that were applied for renewal reached over 1,300. Araga attributed the progress to the government's support of encouraging the public to use EVs instead of fuel-powered vehicles. He also hopes that the policies of all government agencies and private sectors will eventually be aligned to boost sales and registration on electric vehicles. And those are the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. You may also watch the Pna Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under Pna News. I am William Theo. This is the Pna Headlines, bringing you stories that unite the nation.